are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So my name is Chelsea. I'm the social worker here at the university. My role here is just to provide support to the students here who come in to see me. So today you've booked a 1 hour session with me, which you are welcome to book more sessions after this. But for now, I would like to understand a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about yourself?
Well, I'm in my first semester of my master's, and obviously I go here. I don't know, like, what do you want to know, I guess?
What do you do for a living? Do you just go to school?
I'm currently working at Cactus Club. I'm just bartending a couple nights a week just for some extra money.
Oh, wow. So you work and you go to school full time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Busy life.
Yeah.
And tell me about your health.
It's good, I guess. Have asthma. I'm pretty active though. I work out like 6 days a week. So I try to keep busy with that. Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about your family dynamic.
My parents are still together. I have a great relationship with them. I moved here, so they still live in the Lower Mainland. But I would say I call them probably like 3 or 4 times a week. Like, we keep in really good touch and stuff, and I think we actually have a better relationship now that I've moved out. Not that it was bad before by any means, but I think we just appreciate each other more. So I'm looking forward to going home at Christmas. And then other than that, my extended family is, I guess, relatively normal. Like, not super close with them, but they're extended family, so
that's good.
That's it.
It's good that you have a strong family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any other support systems here in Kelowna? You said you just moved here, so that must be a little bit hard.
Yeah, the friends in my social work class, I've gotten like pretty close to them. There's like 5 of them, and we kind of all do stuff together. And that like came pretty quickly, so I didn't really feel like a weird transition when I moved, which is nice. And then I'm starting to get to know people at Cactus more, so I feel like I have like those people as well. So supports are pretty good. I guess like no one really like feels like home just because no one's from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's good.
So you said you moved here. When did you move here?
I moved here in August.
Oh, wow. How are you liking Kelowna so far?
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little bored now that the weather's changing and it's not so nice
quite
outside.
Dark.
Yeah.
So you said you moved here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just getting to know Kelowna and kind of getting to know people. Are you having a easy time adjusting here?
I would say for the most part, yes. But I think I'm here, I don't know if it's like an adjustment issue or like what is going on, but I find that sometimes my boredom like might be causing me a little bit of anxiety. So like, yeah, I've adjusted well, but I don't know if this will be like the place where I want to live forever.
So you're saying that you're coming here for possible anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that your anxiety comes only when you're bored or in high stress situations, or when does your anxiety present itself?
Yeah, I had anxiety before, like I would say a year ago. It was pretty bad, but I think that was stemming from like a bad business relationship and also like a bad personal relationship. So that was like kind of over an extended period of time. But like looking back, I also felt, I guess, like unfulfilled in similar ways as I do right now. So I think just like, I don't know if I just go a little bit like stir crazy and start to feel a bit lonely, or I don't know, the days just seem really long here.
Okay, so you expressed that the last time you had bad anxiety was when you were in a business.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was the owner of my own business, and at first I did it as like kind of a side gig, and it sort of blew up bigger than I expected it to be. So I ended up having employees and business partners and whatever, like the whole shebang. And I just feel like being a CEO requires you to make like decisions that aren't necessarily kind or ethical sometimes, whether that be with like hiring and firing employees or like environmental issues, stuff like that. So I felt like I just had to make calls that were like sort of out of my regular morality. And I think that caused me a lot of stress because I try to like pride myself in being like super ethical and everything. Well, not everything I do, I guess, but you know, especially having your own business when I have control of that. So that sort of ate away at me for a good while.
Okay, and you sound like a very motivated girl. It seems like most of your anxiety is stemming from not doing anything or feeling like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that in the past, your anxiety stemmed from having a bad relationship with your business partners and just being, I guess, busy in a business you kind of were not really aligning with. So can you tell me more about how your relationship was bad and how that caused your anxiety?
Yeah, with them, so how did it start? So I was originally business partners with a girl I did my undergrad with, and she was super awesome. We got along super well, and then she started dating this other guy. So then they were together, and they were collectively my business partners. And they're really great people on their own. They're really cool, but I think he swayed her to be a little bit more unethical in her decisions, and I found that she changed to be very like money hungry. And while I enjoy money, it's not like my prime motivator, and I would never pick money over like my own values. So I just felt like as a friend she was like slipping out of my life in that way, and then as a business partner I just like couldn't align with her, and it kind of always felt like it was 2 against 1 because they were always on the same page. They lived together, they like we had meetings at their house and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I just didn't align with her anymore. So it was sad because I like lost her one in business, and then I lost her as like a friend as well.
Yeah, it's really hard to lose people. So you said that you felt a little bit like almost ganged up on because it was 2 against 1 in terms of decision making.
Yeah, I just kind of felt like I was like always wrong, even if I was right. Like if they didn't agree, it was like, okay, well then that's not happening kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that another reason why you had anxiety at this time during this business was because you felt generally unfulfilled with the business, which is the same reason you're kind of coming in today. So can you explain what unfulfilled means to you, or like what that meant at that time?
Yeah, I think, okay, if we go back, I feel like I've always kind of been like a high achiever. Like I did really well in high school without trying like that hard. I played every sport possible, like I don't know, and that was fine because like a high school day you'd be in school and then you'd go and do like, you know, athletics after school, or I was working at Cactus at the time as well. So it's like I had a full kind of day at all times and like always somewhere to be, and I feel like I thrive off of that. And I find success when I'm not necessarily being successful, but being busy in things that I like enjoy. So from there I went to university, and then I was taking like 5 classes and working 2 jobs and just like again just constantly busy, and I loved it and I thrived and I did well. And then once I graduated university, I felt like just again the days were so long. Like I was doing well at work, like getting promotions, whatever, volunteering on the side, but I just kind of felt like it was starting to slip. Like I was starting to have more time in my day, and I never, I guess, really learned like what to do with it. So kind of the same as here, or I guess when I had my business, I used my business in order to fill that kind of like boredom void, and then that took over my life, and then I started dating a guy in the States and whatever, that's a whole thing. But now I feel like I'm kind of like in the same place where my days just aren't full, so I spend a lot of my time just like not knowing what to do with myself. Like, yeah.
So it sounds like you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be busy constantly. Is there someone else or anything else that puts pressure on you to feel like you need to be doing more all the time, or is it just something within you?
Yeah, I think it's like something within me. Like my parents have always been like super supportive and really like, I don't know, they've always like congratulated me on my work, and all of my friends think I do so much. Like I'm doing a master's and working and like maintaining a healthy like friend life and stuff. So like on paper everything looks totally good, and like I don't know, but it feels wrong still, you know?
Okay, so it's something more inside you that feels like you need to be doing something?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you had this anxiety of being unfulfilled / with your business in the past, and now it's kind of presenting itself again. So in between then, how did you get over the anxiety from your past business to now?
2 things. First thing, check myself into the hospital. So kind of it got so bad that I was like, I can't anymore. And it's definitely not at that level now, but I just know that like I can feel it creeping back up kind of. So I got that dealt with, and then I got referred to CBT, but I didn't end up going just because I don't really know, honestly. Like, I just felt like I could manage it on my own, and I did. I was fine. So I think I just kind of like changed my perspective and took on more things. Like, I became, I think, more like generous to my friends and like started thinking more about other people, and that allowed me to like fill up my days because I was like running errands for friends or like doing stuff like that. Yeah, and then haven't been on medication or anything like that in the meantime. And then I guess I just like, after being in the hospital, I like decided to do my master's. So, you know, I took some time doing the application, and it felt nice to have something to like look forward to that I knew was gonna like give me some sort of fulfillment. But now that I'm in the program, I don't think it's as fulfilling as I want it to be.
So it sounds like you kind of look forward to things, so you kind of set yourself up in a way that you're always like aiming to achieve something that's ahead of you.
Yeah, I definitely always have like a next goal in mind. Whether I like actively am pursuing it or not, I kind of like have an idea of where I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yes. So you also said that it got so bad that you went to the hospital. And so at its worst, what were the symptoms like that were leading up to it? Because you said you kind of can feel it creeping up on you now.
Yeah.
So what are those symptoms like?
I don't know. Right now I get like weird like heart races, I guess. And I don't know how to describe it. If you've never had anxiety, it's like hard to like tell someone else. But some just like having like little interest in things, and like it gets dark at like 4 o'clock here now, and I'm just like, okay, I guess it's time to like get ready for bed. But then I realize I don't go to bed till 11, so it's like another whole day's worth of time that I have to fill. Like, I don't know what to do. And then but when it was really bad, I had like horrible stomach pains. I would like writhe on the floor and shake. I like couldn't speak. I was freezing all the time. I lost like 20 pounds. It was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds really hard.
Yeah.
It's really not a great time of year when the sun's setting super early. It makes everyone feel a little bit glum.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like seasonal depression or if it's like a broader issue.
Yeah, it could be a mixture of both. So you said that when you went to the hospital, you were referred to CBT, but you managed to just cope with things on your own. So what did that look like? Like, how did you cope with it on your own?
I think what happened in succession, I can't really remember. I sold the business soon after, so I think that was like, that caused me a lot of anxiety, but once that was done, I felt like a huge weight was lifted off of me. And then kind of immediately after going to the hospital, that was the first time I had like I was a client or a whatever patient. So like that kind of gave me the epiphany like right away to apply for social work. So I think like as soon as my business stopped, my application sort of started. So there wasn't like a huge gap for me to feel like kind of empty again. And then once I like told all my friends that I had done that, like I felt like they like really stepped up for me and like they would help me fill my time. So yeah, it was fine afterwards.
It sounds like you have some really great support systems that have been helping you.
Yeah, they rock.
So today, it sounds like the reason why you came in is because you're feeling your anxiety creeping back. And would you say that your main causes of your anxiety are feeling of unfulfilled, like not feeling fulfilled, and then also doing things that might not align with your values? You said that was like something that really caused anxiety in terms of your business.
Yeah, I don't think I have that right now. I'm not doing anything unethical on the reg.
Okay.
But yeah, that has been like a previous trigger for sure.
Yeah. So for coping strategies, you kind of mentioned that really being busy was one of them, and then also having friends to confide in or family. So why do you think these worked well? Like, or why didn't they at times?
I think just being like a natural high achiever, having my time full is like actually what I want. Like my best friend, she's completely opposite. She wants to be home all the time, like have nothing on her schedule, like likes to be, you know, watching rom-coms and doing that stuff. But I'm totally different. I'm just like wired differently, I think. So I enjoy being busy. But that's also a double-edged sword because if I sometimes pick up too much, like it can like kind of stress me out a little bit if I have too much going on.
Totally.
But I think, I think they worked because that's what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a question that's might be unrelated in your eyes. Do you abuse any substances?
Like I'll smoke a little weed here and then.
Okay. And does this help, do you find, or does it hinder? How does it help with your anxiety?
Yeah, I talked about this with like the counselor in the hospital. I think it helps me sleep. So to be perfectly honest, like if I wake up feeling refreshed and having a good start to my day, I feel like my days are easier and I have less anxiety. But like, yeah, that's probably the only reason. I don't find that I like use it at school or like do it in a way that's harmful.
Okay, so you would say if anything it helps. And have there been periods of using more or less? Do you use it more now that you've moved to Kelowna and you're feeling a little bit unfulfilled?
No, I don't think it's something that like compensates for, like I know that it's not going to fill a void.
Okay.
I'm pretty aware, yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that you saw a counselor when you were in the hospital. And am I the first counselor you've kind of seen since then, or have you been going to counseling?
Yeah, no, I only went that one time, and then I haven't been since. So yeah.
Okay. So with your anxiety, would you say that it's been happening since you've moved to Kelowna? It's been started back up?
No, which is funny because when I first moved, I was like, I knew 0 people in the town. I had just bought an apartment. Like, I didn't know anything about the town. And I think I was like, I didn't have trouble adjusting, but I had like that natural kind of like, oh God, actually, like, what am I doing here kind of moment. But I think my anxiety has probably only started within the last month or so-ish.
Okay. So it sounds like you're pretty good at adjusting to change and very adaptable.
I do like change.
So it's kind of just started in the last month, you said?
Yeah.
And are there days that it's worse than others?
Yes. I would say my days off of school and off of work are worse. Just because I wake up and I'm like, I literally have nothing to do. And I have to somehow kill 15 hours alone.
Yeah, fair enough. It's hard around these times of the year, especially.
Yeah.
So you said that there was a time when it wasn't going on in between your business and now.
Yeah.
So what did that look like in a day?
Yeah. Sorry, it's early. I'm trying to think. I think I was working at the Cactus like back at home, and I worked like a lot of shifts there and a lot of long shifts, and I got really into fitness. So I think I would do like I don't know if this is healthy or not, but I would do like a spin class in the morning, and that would be like an hour, and then I'd do like a workout after, so that would kill like 2 hours plus driving time would be like 3 hours of my day, and then by the time I would like get home and shower and get ready for work, it would like kind of fill my day. So I think I use like fitness as a pretty solid coping mechanism, I guess.
Okay, so it sounds like fitness and working are things that are kind of important to you. And would you say that you use fitness in like a positive way? Like
I don't think it used to be positive, to be honest. I think I knew I needed something to work towards, and it's not like I'm like striving for like a perfect body type, or like I'm not really like looking to look a certain way. I just do it because it gives me something to like do and accomplish in a day, so that feels good.
Okay.
So like I would say it's healthy now, but I was working up to the point and I wasn't eating very much, so I was getting like really, really thin at one point. But then I kind of snapped myself out of that because I knew it wasn't going well.
Okay. So it sounds like you really like setting goals for yourself and challenging yourself.
I do.
So if your anxiety were to like disappear, say in Kelowna, like what would a day look like for you? Like,
yeah,
how would you fill your day, and like what would really be fulfilling for you?
Yeah, I think in the next, like, I'm just thinking in like a 2-year gap, just because that's like how long I'm in school for, guaranteed. So I think ideally, depending on like my course schedule, I would fit like fitness and work and school in pretty like fluidly if I could, like kind of always have like one thing going on per day. So I've tried to pick up more shifts at Cactus to kind of get there. But I don't think it's not like scratching my actual itch. So I think I want to volunteer. And I think ideally like that would be like kind of harmonious for me.
Okay.
If I were to
So
do
it would
that.
both like make you feel fulfilled and it would fill your time, which would ultimately
cure my boredom and stir craziness.
Improve your anxiety around surrounding your boredom.
Yeah.
So right now, what are you doing to cope with, like, you're just working out and going to work?
Yeah, like basically, and then I literally FaceTime people so often, it's like almost unhealthy. But like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, like I can only FaceTime the same people so many times in a day, like, you know.
It's really good that you have all of those supports that you can FaceTime.
I genuinely could not imagine if I didn't.
So today you're coming in here because you're feeling unfulfilled and you want to deal with the anxiety that's coming up from your boredom or feeling unfulfilled. Would you say that one of your goals is to be more okay at rest? Like, is that something that you're interested in, or are you like, what are you coming in here today for?
Yes, good question. I don't know if I know. So like I don't how do I explain this? I think in the past like 3 months that I've lived here, I've really learned a lot about like self-care and kind of like being okay at rest. And I think I enjoy like a certain amount of time of rest in a day, and I'm pretty good at like doing that. Like I go to bed at a reasonable hour most nights, and I like, you know, but I don't think I want to be okay with like having a very empty day where I just like sit around and do nothing. Like I actually would prefer, I think, to find someone or something that like actually motivates me and like kind of lights that fire.
So it sounds like your goal is really to maybe find resources or ways to keep busy.
Yeah.
However, in a real life scenario, there are going to be days that you aren't going to be doing something from the moment you wake up to the moment that you go to bed.
And I'm not trying to have like a 15-hour full day, but
so I think that it sounds like you have come a long way in terms of you moving here and being okay at rest and kind of being okay with yourself and your thoughts. But would you say that it would maybe require some more improvement in terms of like maybe figuring out some coping strategies where if you did come with a day that you didn't have that much to do, you could be okay with yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. And so generally when your anxiety arises, how you manage the difficulty of like your anxiety right now when you're at home, how do you do that?
Take a lot of baths.
Yeah.
I read a lot. I try to read for fun as much as I can because I get very bored of reading for academics as much as I enjoy my program. It's just like when you're forced to read a textbook, you don't want to. And then I try to like spend as much time with people as possible, but like I also enjoy my hometown time. Yeah. So I think I'm like okay right now, and I think coming here was like me acknowledging that I just want to kind of like nip it in the bud. Like it's not so serious right now that I'm concerned about like my mental health, but I think just like kind of getting it out will help me sort of like remain okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good that you came in today. It's really hard to come into counseling for the first time. So we have an hour, or I guess the lesser part of an hour here today. With the rest of the day, it sounds like maybe we should set some goals to work towards. Do you have any that you want to work towards today?
I think maybe looking at places that I could like volunteer at. Even if I don't go with it, I think it would be a good head start to just like start thinking maybe for something in January that I could pursue.
Okay.
And I don't really know like what there is in Kelowna. I haven't really looked into it, so that would be a good thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, would you like to maybe come up with a couple activities that you could feel fulfilled, but maybe necessarily aren't out doing things? Like maybe, have you ever tried like journaling, or do you like reading?
I do like reading. Haven't tried journaling yet, but we'll be open to it for sure.
Okay. And do you have any questions for me?
No, I'm like, do you think I should come in for more sessions, or do you think it would be valuable just to come in kind of when I'm feeling rocky? Again?
Yeah. I feel like we can work through some goals today. So kind of looking at your opportunities to volunteer and kind of getting you started with journaling or whatever you want to do at home. And then you can go and see how that works for you. And then if you feel like it's not working for you and you can feel your anxieties coming back, definitely you can come back and book with me. So yeah. Okay, so your presenting problem seems to be your anxiety and feeling unfulfilled. So it seems more like it's almost an opportunity for you to volunteer, which is great. So have you ever volunteered before?
Yeah, I would say I volunteered like a lot.
Okay, and where did you volunteer?
I used to work, well, my most recent-ish, whatever, the most significant one recently in my mind is I was a helpline volunteer for AIDS Vancouver, so I did their crisis line, which was awesome because I got to learn so much about like HIV and AIDS, and we had like really in-depth training, and I got to work with people like from all over the world, and it was like a huge hub. So that was super fulfilling, and I think it like helped lead me to where I am now, and my background's in health science, so I would enjoy kind of a role that would blend sort of health science and social work and helping professions.
Okay,
like that.
So your last one was with HIV.
Yeah.
So you're kind of wanting a volunteer opportunity that kind of goes in line with your passion and your current work, which is you're going into social work.
Yes.
Okay, so have you looked at any places within the community that you might want to volunteer at?
No, I haven't, but I have been hearing about a bunch of my like peers getting their practicum placements, so mine's not until summer. But yeah, like I think I've heard a lot of different places that I don't know if they would be taking volunteers, but I know there's a bunch of opportunities that are similar to my interests out there.
Okay. And what kind of population are you kind of looking to work with?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty open. Anything sort of like health or social service related would be sweet. Or like working at the SPCA or something like that.
Okay, so you just want to help, really?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and have you looked at anything on campus?
No, I haven't actually, but that would be smart.
Okay, so here are some different, let me just get them. Volunteer opportunities on campus. Have you talked to like the student union?
No.
I think that there is a social work student union that offers like volunteer opportunities, and yeah, so here if you want to take this form, there's some contact information for the student union.
Cool.
So how long would you be wanting to, or how many hours would you be willing to volunteer?
So that's the thing, thinking a bit ahead.
Oh my God.
Thinking a bit ahead, I don't know what would be the best for me, just because I have practicum in the summer, and I would also be keeping Cactus, so that's like kind of a curveball that I don't know like what to do with, because I'll be working I believe Monday to Thursday at my practicum, and then probably like Friday, Saturday at Cactus. So then I'm like, okay, in that span, like where do I volunteer, or do I volunteer just for 3 months? Like, do places even take me for 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if instead I should be more like do something more casual, like maybe the student union has like just events that I could help with rather than like an ongoing kind of like more than once weekly type of thing.
So it sounds like you kind of don't want to commit fully because you want to be able to have the ability to work whenever, or like if school becomes busier next semester or something like that.
Yeah, I just don't want to like trap myself by accident, and then if I have to like give up volunteering, I would feel so bad. So yeah, I'd want to avoid that.
Okay, so maybe looking into some events around town.
Yeah.
Do you have a laptop here? Do you want to go through some events? We can maybe look. I know you're not really familiar with Kelowna, so I can show you some places.
Yeah. Okay. Great. What website would you recommend me looking at?
Volunteer opportunities. Kelowna.
Oh, cool. Okay. I definitely can't be a swim instructor, but
Mental Health Association.
Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 3. See, that doesn't work.
Okay.
That would be fun. Cooking classes, yoga, art, and music. That would be actually really fun.
Maybe we can take down their contact information and then...
Yeah, maybe see if they have something similar.
Or if you are able to stand in on one of the days, or if you're able to do a more flexible kind of volunteer opportunity. So it seems like there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's actually a lot. So that would be something I could definitely look into to see what ones kind of align with like what I need.
Okay, so do you think I can leave you with the task of kind of looking at these?
Totally, yeah.
And then
maybe next time I come back, I can like talk with you, or like bring maybe like 3 options, and we can talk about like which one might be best for me.
Yeah.
I could get your opinion.
Okay, sounds good. And so volunteer is one thing that you wanted to do. And then in terms of journaling, you said you've never journaled before.
No, I don't know if it would frustrate me or help me.
Okay, so do you think you'd be willing to get a journal, or?
Yeah, I think they have some like even on campus that I could just go pick up right now.
Yeah, and then maybe just try. For me, when I journal, I kind of just like, obviously there's things that arise throughout the day that maybe there's a time where you're waiting in line to get coffee and you feel frustrated that it's taking a long time. Like kind of things that bring up adverse emotions.
Okay.
If you kind of jot those down, it allows you to be more self-aware. And then when you're more self-aware of those things, it allows you to cope. So it's kind of like a coping strategy. So for you, with your presenting anxiety, obviously you said that when you feel bored or unfulfilled, you start to get anxiety. So kind of really acknowledging that and taking ownership of those feelings. If you jot them down and you actually get it out, you might see that it allows you to kind of really have like value clarification and really be self-aware of those and kind of manage it. So would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, I like weirdly associate journaling. Okay, this is a totally different story, but I had like really bad stomach problems, which looking back are probably from anxiety. But anyways, regardless, I'm like pretty sensitive to food in general, so I had to do like a food journal. So I currently have like, it was more of like something that I didn't look forward to doing. So I think I need to work on maybe like changing my mindset around journaling and to it being like a positive experience, because like with the food thing, I felt like I was constantly just like writing down everything I ate, and it was really taxing and annoying in my day.
Yeah.
So I think like, changing my mindset and like using this as a positive will be good, but challenging for me. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll like it or not.
So in terms of the food journaling, you didn't find success in that.
I gave up on it.
Yeah. The difference between the food journal and this journal would be, with the food journal, you kind of had to do.
Yeah.
It was a requirement for your health or your stomach, you said. So you had to remember everything, and it maybe sometimes frustrated you if you forgot or something like that.
Yeah, I just didn't have time and didn't really care.
So let's just set a small goal where if we can just jot down one thing per day that where some sort of feeling like arose in you, and you want to just write one thing down a day and see how that feels. And then if you want to come back and book in a session a couple of months down the road, or when you do feel anxiety, but and we can discuss how that worked for you and kind of maybe adjust your goals to suit if it's working or not.
Maybe I could just like before I go to bed just say like what kind of like mental kind of day I had, because it's like easier for me to summarize than it is to write down like every single event that pops in my brain.
And then we can kind of assess like why you had those days on those days, and like what the causes of that was.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, that sounds great. And for volunteering, I wanted to try to kind of, since that's just one thing, maybe look at an alternative to volunteering. So you said that you kind of like fitness. Have you looked into any like recreational sports where you can meet people and kind of like, I know there's rec on campus, there's rec dodgeball or volleyball or anything like that, and also kind of in the community, like yoga classes, those can be kind of costly, but something like that. Have you looked into anything?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I like volleyball. I think it's like my favorite sport. I'm not like incredible at it by any means, so I was gonna look into it for like intramurals or something, but I like don't know if like how serious they take intramurals at this school, so maybe that's like something to look into, because I would want it to be like sort of casual, not like really competitive. Like I'm not trying to add more stress. But yeah, and then I also thought about yoga. I used to be really into yoga and spin actually, so I do have income because I work, so that would be like an option for me. It's just that I live kind of far. I live in Lake Country, whereas like Oxygen and a bunch of other stuff like Pace and all that stuff is more downtown.
Okay.
So I would just have to, but that honestly isn't bad. Like I'm used to driving into town. I think it's just like whether I decide to commit to that drive or not, especially in the winter, is kind of hard. But yeah, that's definitely been like on my mind for sure.
Okay, so you said you're willing to kind of look into rec sports maybe on campus, as well as maybe doing some sort of class or something.
Yeah, and then I know that like some of my friends like volunteer at like say Oxygen, and it'll be like 4 or 8 hours a week, like it's not that much at all, and then you get free yoga for the month. So I think that actually like might align with me, because it would be like such a short shift, but it would give me like, it would let me meet people like in the community and also do what I like for free. Like that would be sweet.
And it would kind of give you something to do too, because you
want
so that
maybe I'll like send an email to them. That would be fun.
Okay, so after today, we're going to look up the volunteer opportunities that are in the community, so the ones that we kind of looked at together. And then do you want to contact the student union?
Yeah, I can do that and just see what they have. Sometimes I feel like, this is gonna sound bad, but sometimes I feel like student union stuff can be a bit like fluffy, and I almost don't know if I want to do more social work stuff outside of like the social work stuff I do in school. Like
and
while
with your peers.
Like while it is my passion, I'm kind of like, I want to like broaden my horizon, not like make it smaller. So I'll look into it for sure. There might be something that piques my interest, definitely. But yeah, like I'm aware that might not be like my end goal.
Okay, so we'll look at it anyways, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that makes sense. You kind of want to look at things outside of your main area of focus, and maybe without your peers, so that you can meet new people and such. And then maybe contacting the gym.
Yeah, rec.
Yeah. For rec sports.
Yeah, or maybe I'll find someone who's like in, like I'm always at the gym here. This is my gym, so maybe I'll like just kind of like peruse and ask one of the people working there just kind of like how intramurals are, if they're like super serious or when they start or what's going on. I haven't really looked into it at all. And
then maybe looking into, you said an energy exchange, is that what it was called? At the yoga place?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, like doing like a couple hours a week in exchange for classes or whatever.
Okay, so it seems like you have set some pretty manageable goals that I'm gonna leave you with. And do you feel like do you feel happy with what we've gone through kind of today?
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel right now.
Okay.
yeah, but maybe I'll come back just to follow up, depending on how it goes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you feel like you're having, like, any of this isn't working and you kind of want to talk through some other alternatives and like identify maybe why it's not working for you or why it is, or yeah, even come in and tell me how you've improved, that'd be great.
Cool.
Otherwise I'll leave you with this and you can just get back to me.
Cool, sounds good.
It was really nice meeting you today.
You too, thanks for letting me talk it through.
No worries.
Cool.
Wow.